Well, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, my fellow fans of the written word of interactive fiction. And here at Interactive Fiction, we enjoy fighting fantasy, even though we have a mixed success with it. So far, our run with Trial of Champions has failed. Citadel of Chaos has failed as well. Well, failed. It was entertaining, but we got as far as we could. But before we start replaying anything, let's go to something new. Something we haven't played yet. So this time, let's try Warlock of Firetop Mountain. Can we? First, let's check the settings. Music. Yes, we are still Jim Simmons. And something more cheerful. Let's go. Let us go. So, what do we have here? We have The Warlock of Firetop Mountain is a fighting fantasy game book, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. Excellent. You can only win by choosing the correct path, finding equipment, avoiding traps, and surviving combat. Yes, we all know this. And before embarking on our adventure, we need to roll our stats. So, first we're going to pick our difficulty mode, which is adventure, which is standard difficulty. And before we do anything else, let's roll for stamina. And try to cheat. Great. 9 plus 12, stamina is 21. Not bad, not terrible. Pretty decent actually. Let's go. Now we're going to roll for our skill. Whoa. 6 plus 6, 12. Not bad. And now let's go for luck. Arguably the best stat in the game. 6 and we didn't even have to reroll. This is really good. And what do we take with us? On our last adventure, we were not allowed to have an inventory. We did not start with an inventory because we were captured at the beginning of the game. We were a slave, we were trying to escape. So naturally, we were kind of limited on the things we carry with us. Here we have potions. So, in addition to your other starting equipment, you may take one bottle of a magical potion which will aid you on your quest. Each potion contains enough for one measure, so use it wisely. The potions of skill and strength will fully restore your skill or stamina points, respectively. The potion of fortune will add 1 to your initial luck before fully restoring your luck points. Which potion will you take on your quest? Potion of skill, potion of strength, a potion of fortune. Well, I think our... What can we do? I think we have a lot of fortune as it is. Our luck is good. But we might go with strength, I think. Yes. Strength might come in handy. You begin your adventure with a sword and a shield, leather armor, a backpack containing provisions, food and drink, and a lantern to light your way. Rationing your provisions is a key to a successful adventure. They may be consumed at any time, excluding combat, by assessing the adventure sheet. Each meal restores 4 stamina. Be sure to pay close attention to your stamina and restore it regularly. Your difficulty setting determines how many provisions you begin with. Adventurers and free readers start with 10, while hardcore heroes begin with 3. During your quest, you may encounter characters and items that alter your 3 scores: stamina, skill, and luck. Usually these scores may only ever be restored to their initial amount. On very rare occasions, a particular page may grant an effect that defies this rule. Aside from these occasions, some magic items may also allow you to exceed, your initial scores. Once you have readied your equipment, you may begin. May the luck of the gods go with you on the adventure ahead. Okay. Let's go. Let's see what will we encounter on our journey, shall we? Only a foolhardy adventurer would embark upon such a perilous quest without first finding out as much as possible about the mountain and its treasures. Before your arrival at the foot of the Firetop mountain, you spent several days with the humble townsfolk of a village some 2 days' journey from the base. Being a likable sort of person, you found it easy to get on with the locals. Although they told many stories about the mysterious Warlock sanctuary, you could not feel sure that all, or indeed any of these, were based on fact. The villagers had seen many adventurers pass through on their way to the mountain, but very few ever returned. The journey ahead was extremely dangerous, that you knew for certain. Of those who returned to the village, none contemplated going back to the Firetop mountain. There seemed to be some truth in the rumor that Warlock's treasure was stored in a magnificent chest with 2 locks, and the keys to these locks were guarded by various creatures within the dungeons. The Warlock himself was a sorcerer of great power. Some described him as old, others as young. Some said his power came from an enchanted deck of cards, others from the silky black gloves that he wore. The entrance to the mount was guarded by a pack of warty-faced goblins, stupid creatures, fond of their food and drink. Towards the inner chambers, the creatures became more fearsome. To reach the inner chambers, you would have to cross a river. The ferry service was regular, but the ferryman enjoyed good barter, so you should save a gold piece for the trip. The locals also encourage you to keep a good map of your wanderings, for without a map you would end up hopelessly lost within the mountain. When it finally came to your day of leaving, the whole village turned out to wish you a safe journey. How nice of them. Tears came to the eyes of many of the villagers, young and old alike. You couldn't help wondering whether they were tears of sorrow shed by the eyes which would never see you alive again. Well, at least your 2-day hike is over. You unsheathe your sword, lay it on the ground, and sigh with relief as you lower yourself down on the mossy rocks to sit for a moment's rest. You stretch, rub your eyes, and finally look up at the Firetop mountain. The very mountain itself looks menacing. The steep face in front of you looks to have been savaged by the claws of some gargantuan beast. Sharp, rocky crags jut out at unnatural angles. At the top of the mountain you can see the eerie red coloring, probably some savage vegetation, which has given the mountain its name. Perhaps no one will ever know exactly what grows up there, as climbing the peak must surely be impossible. No, it is not. We shall conquer it, or at least make a valiant effort to do so. Your quest lies ahead of you. Across the clearing is a dark cave entrance. You pick up your sword, get to your feet, and consider what dangers may lie ahead of you. But with determination, you thrust the sword home into its scabbard and approach the cave. You peer into the gloom to see dark, slimy walls with pools of water on the stone floor in front of you. The air is cold and dank. You light your lantern and step warily into the blackness. Cobwebs brush your face and you hear the scurrying of tiny feet. Rats, most likely. You set off into the cave. After a few yards, you arrive at a junction. Well, I got to say, compared to other adventures we played, this probably has the meatiest intro, I think, or I'm just getting a wrong impression, but feels to me like there's a lot of actual prose before the action. So what do we do? Do we turn west or do we turn east? Well, I'm going to follow the advice of the philosopher of our times, Pet Shop Boys, and go west. Turn to 71. There is a right-hand turn to the north in the passage. Cautiously you approach a sentry post on the corner, and as you look in, you can see a strange goblin-like creature in leather armor asleep at his post. You try to tiptoe past him. Test your luck. Can we just stab him in his sleep? I mean, I know this sounds, well, not nice, but I don't think we're a nice person. We don't know nothing about this Warlock, and we are invading his home, and he doesn't seem to be terrorizing the village, so maybe we're not a good person. Maybe we're just a money-hungry, power-hungry mercenary, so why not just try to stab this sentry? But alas, let's try and test our luck. You're lucky. You need a luck score of 12 or below and roll a luck score of 8. Excellent. We were lucky, so we can turn to 301. He does not wake up and remains snoring loudly. You continue on. To your left, on the west face of the passage, there is a rough-cut wooden door. You listen at the door and can hear a rasping sound, which may be some sort of creature snoring. Do you want to open the door? If so, turn to 82. If you wish to press on northwards, turn to 208. Let's go and open the door. The door opens to reveal a small, smelly room. In the center of the room is a rickety wooden table on which stands a lit candle. Underneath the table is a small wooden box. Asleep on a straw mattress in the far corner of the room is a short, stocky creature with an ugly, warty face. The same sort of creature that you found asleep at a sentry post. He must be the guard for the night watch. You may either return to the corridor and press on northwards, or creep on into the room and try to take the box without waking the creature. Okay, let's test our luck again. We were lucky again. We needed 11 or below and rolled a luck of 6. Okay, let's turn and see what has our luck brought us. You leave the room and open the box in the passage. Inside you find a single piece of gold and a small mouse, which must have been the creature's pet. You keep the coin and release the mouse, which scurries off and down the passageway. You gain 2 luck points. Interesting. Do we, we can place a bookmark. I haven't noticed that before. Yeah. Did this add to our luck? I don't know. Strange. So, goblin sentry, cave entrance. Okay, got it. Let's go. Further up the passage along the west wall, you see another door. You listen at it, but hear nothing. If you want to try opening the door, turn to 397. If you want to continue northwards, turn to 363. Let's try to open the door. The door opens to reveal a small room with a stone floor and dirty walls. There is a stale smell in the air. In the center of the room is a makeshift wooden table on which is standing a lit candle. Under the table is a small box. In the far corner of the room is a straw mattress. You may either open the box or leave the room. Let's open the box. Well, that was smart of me, but the box is light, but something rattles within. You open the lid and a small snake darts out to bite at your wrist. You must fight. Let us fight. Yeah, I think the snake is toast. I mean, it was a little snake, a little danger noodle, so... Let's see what happens next. The box has fallen to the ground during your fight with the snake, and out of it has fallen a bronze-colored key with the number 99 carved into it. You take this key with you and leave the room. You gain 1 luck point. Okay. Further up the passage on the west wall, you see another similar door. You listen at the door and grimace to hear the worst singing you have ever heard in your life. Well, the worst singing would be like Vogon poetry, but with an instrumental accompaniment. Do you want to go into the room to investigate his hideous den or walk up on the passageway? No, this sounds interesting, let's go. The door opens to reveal a small room. The room is dirty and unkempt. A straw mattress lies in the corner. In the center of the room is a wooden table upon which a candle burns, lighting the room with its flickering flame. A small box rests under the table. Seated around the table are two small creatures with warty skin dressed in leather armor. They are drinking some sort of grog, and by the way they stagger to their feet on your arrival, you assume they are very drunk. It is a possibility. So, what can we do with them? You may either draw your sword and leap towards them, or slam the door. Probably too late to slam the door, even if they're drunk, so let's draw our sword and fight! The two drunken orcs you now face are obviously startled at your entrance, and as quickly as they are able, they fumble around for the weapons. You must attack each one in turn. Their drunkenness allows you to add 1 point to your skill during this battle. You must fight. How fortunate. If only every monster was drunk when we fought it. I mean, a drunk dragon? We can take a drunk dragon, or a drunk lich. Anything, as long as they're drunk. Let's fight. And I think we're good. Let's fight again. And the first orc is done. Let's fight again. Aha! Yes. No, that was terrible. Okay, this is better. Okay, one other shot. Okay. Yes. Let's go. You wipe your bloodied sword on the mattress. The green blood leaves a slimy stain on the straw. Stepping over the bodies towards the table, you flinch at the foul stench of the creatures. You pick up the box from under the table and examine it. It is a small wooden box with crude hinges. The name Farigo di Maggio, or Farigo di Maggio, whatever it may be, is inscribed on a brass nameplate on its lid. If you wish to open the box, turn to 296. If you decide to leave it behind and leave it in the room, turn to... Now, let's tempt our fate once again. This is a nice illustration. And so, you who now hold this book, you have my life's work in your hands. The power of destruction is yours if you wish it, but do not waste it. Unless you use the spell for the purpose for which it was intended, you shall be consumed by evil itself, and die by the fire from your own hands. Remember, only when the dragon breathes its fire at you should you raise your arms and say, Ekil Erif, Ekam Erif, Erif, Erif di Maggio. The box contains a small leather-bound book entitled The Making and Casting of Dragonfire. Fortunately, it is written in your own language and thus was probably unintelligible to the orcs. Otherwise, this treasure would certainly not have been as loosely guarded as it was. Indeed. So, well, looks like we're going to encounter a dragon. The book is written in tiny handwriting by Farigo di Maggio, or Maggio. In it, he tells the story of his life's work, the creation of Dragonfire spell, which was crafted to fight evil dragons. How very specific. You read how, in his last years, Farigo finally perfected his spell, but by then was too old to make use of it. So he completed his book, locked it up in a chest, and hid it in depths of Firetop Mountain, afraid of what might happen were it to fall into the wrong hands. Now wait a second, what might happen if it's going to destroy anyone that uses it for any other purpose than for killing dragons, evil dragons? I mean, what if I want to use this dragon fire to I don't know, roast some chicken or something. What's gonna happen then? I don't know. The last page reads, and so you who now hold this book, you have my life's work in your hands. Yes, 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 we've seen everything. You say these words slowly and softly. Suddenly these pages seem to glow. As the glow disappears, the words on the page fade with it. You repeat the spell to yourself to memorize it and leave the room. Okay, so guess we have now it in our possession. Okay, let's go. You eventually arrive at the end of the passage at the three-way junction. You may turn either to the west, turn to 257, or to the east, 113. Let's continue west, shall we? But before that, let us see the map. So these were the guard room, small room, drunken orcs. I assume we're going somewhere there. The passageway runs straight for the several meters and then ends at the wooden door. You listen at the door and hear angry shouting coming from within. Will we investigate or turn back? Well, I want to investigate, but I hope we can do it sneakily. Can we be a sneaky sneak man? Wow, that's an ugly creature. You open the door to a large room. A large chair behind a solid-looking table suggests to you that someone or something of rank uses this room. A chest in the center catches your eye. In a corner of the room stands a man-sized creature with a warty face, standing over a smaller creature of similar race. With a whip in his hand, the orc chieftain has been beating his servant, who is whimpering beneath him. Will we attack them both, or spring at the chieftain in the hope that his servant will aid us? Well, I think we have decided that we are not a nice person, so let's attack them both. The orcs rush towards you, and the battle commences. We must fight! Also, are we fighting both of them at the same time, or one at a time? But too late for that now. We have hit him. Great. Let us fight again. And I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Another one. Oh, that was terrible. So this is a stalemate. Oh no, yeah. We had a better base. Okay. You have defeated the orc chieftain. We must fight the other one. Okay. Fight. Excellent. Excellent. The orcs are defeated. The green blood of the dead orcs smells foul as it seeps from their bodies. That seems to be a repeating pattern with us. You step around the corpses and investigate the chest. It is a sturdy affair made of strong oak and iron, and it's firmly locked. You may try to smash the lock with your sword or leave it alone and go through the open door. I hope our sword doesn't have a separate stat of some kind. I don't want to blunt it, but let's give it a go. The lock was obviously inadequate. It flies off and lands on the floor several meters away. You lift up the heavy lid and your eyes widen as you see the gold sheen coming from within. A fair number of gold pieces are inside. In one corner lies a small black bottle with a tight glass stopper, containing a liquid of some kind. Also in the chest is a silky black glove. But as you are admiring this treasure, you hear a soft click and wince in pain as a small dart shoots forward into your stomach. To determine the potency of the poison, you must roll one die. Yikes. You rolled 4 and lost 1 stamina. Well, at least we're still alive. You sink to the floor. You pull the dart out and decide to bandage the wound. This gives some relief, but you are still weak. You decide to take it easy and examine the contents of the chest. There are 25 gold pieces, and the label on the bottle shows it to be a potion of invisibility, good for 1 dose. The glove is a mystery. You put all of these in your haversack and leave the room. I love the word haversack. You arrive back at the junction in the passage and walk straight on eastwards. You may either go northwards or eastwards. Let's see the map. Let's progress. I think we're making good progress, all things considering. Adventure sheet. Our stamina is not great. Can we eat something? Yes. Okay. Continue eastwards. Or northwards. You see a well-used door on the right-hand east side of the passageway. With your ear to the keyhole, you listen and hear a man screaming for help from the inside. Will you open the door or walk past? Yeah, let's see what's that. The door is locked. You may use your skill to try to charge it down. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your skill score, or if is it greater. So we roll for less. Yes, good. The locked door bursts open and a nauseating stench hits to your nostrils. Inside the room, the floor is covered with bones, rotting vegetation, and slime. Ugh. A wild-haired old man, clothed in rags, rushes at you screaming. His beard is long and grey, and he's waving an old wooden chair leg. Is he simply insane as he appears, or has it been some kind of trap? You may either shout at him to try and calm him down, or draw your sword. Let's try and get some information out of him. As I said, I think we're role-playing as a nice person, but at least we can be a cautious one. I mean, it's like in D&D and with alignments. If you're lawful evil, that doesn't mean you're lawful stupid. Let's try. You shout, "You're freed, old man!" at the top of your voice. Instantly, his ranting ceases. He stops dead in his tracks and sinks to the floor, weeping loudly. As he gradually composes himself, he thanks you many times. You talk with him in the hope of discovering some of the secrets of the mountain, and he begins to tell you his story. Exactly. This was a useful thing we did. Many years ago, he was an adventurer like you in the search of the Warlock's treasure. He was captured by the orcs and thrown into his solitary cell as a sort of a pet for the creatures. You ask whether he would like to accompany you in the mountain, but he simply wants to leave and see the world again. You ask him for advice, but he says he knows little. He advises you to pay your respects to the boatman. He tells you that you must pull the right-hand lever on the wall ahead to open the iron gate at the end of the passage. Now that's useful. He also has learned that the keys to the boathouse are guarded by a man and his dog. And where is the man and his dog? We shall find out. You shake hands, leave the cell door, and go your separate ways. You gain 1 luck. Our luck is full, but still, it's nice. Further up the passage, you see a door in the east wall. You listen hard, but you can hear no sound. Do you want to open the door to investigate? Yes. Yes. The door is firmly locked. You may try to force it open. Yeah, let's do it. You charge the door, hitting it squarely with your shoulder. So, again, less is more. And yes, we passed the skill. Huh. Now that's a nice sight. The door splits along its length and you can wrench the timbers apart to let yourself in. A torch hangs from one wall, lighting up a small armory room stocked with swords, shields, helmets, daggers, breastplates, and the like. You examine the weaponry and find nothing appearing superior to your own sword. However, a circular iron shield with a golden crescent at its center catches your eye. You pick it up and feel its weight on your arm. The shield will aid you in battle by helping to fend off damage. If you're using this shield and a creature wounds you, you may throw 1 die. If you throw a 6, the creature inflicts only 1 point of damage instead of normal 2. If for some reason the creature would normally only inflict 1 point of damage, then a successful roll of 6 would mean that no damage is done. This is great. You add the crescent shield to your gear, leave the room and continue the corridor. Now hold on a second. Do we equip it? I think it's equipped as it is. Okay. On the east wall of the passage you see another door, this time made of solid metal. Listening at the door you hear the sound of tortured screams coming from within. If you wish to try opening the door, turn to 102. If you decide to ignore, go to 303. A smart man would ignore this. Let's see the map. See how far are we. So, armory. I wonder. Let's try. The door is not locked and opens. The room in front of you seems to be a small torture chamber with various torture devices around the walls. In the center of the room, two small hunchback creatures are torturing a dwarf who is tied to a hook in the ceiling by his wrists. The two hunchbacks are poking and cutting him viciously with their swords. The dwarf lets out a final scream and falls silent, eyes closed. Oh no. Oh no. I wanted a dwarf buddy. Even if it's a drinking buddy, and now he's dead. I will avenge you, dwarf brother. I never knew you, but I will slay your captors. His captors make disappointed noises and look around angrily at you as if it were your fault that the dwarf has collapsed. You must act quickly. Will you close the door and continue up the corridor or draw your sword? Or stride over to the dwarf, give him a jab with your sword and put on an evil laugh for the torturers. I think the last one will cost me points, but maybe it will be entertaining. Let's go. The two goblin torturers look at each other amazed and look at you. They chatter to themselves and then indicate for you to wait while they go off and get another dwarf to give them some more fun. They disappear out of the room and you cut down the dwarf who is, as you guessed, quite dead. You decide it is best to leave and press on northwards up the corridor. See, I knew this was going to be entertaining. You arrive at the end of the passage where it meets another going east-west. But an iron portcullis blocks your way and no amount of charging is going to budge it. On the wall to your right are two levers and it seems likely that these levers have something to do with raising the portcullis. Interesting. Do you wish to pull the right lever or the left lever? Did you get any of the hints regarding the levers? I don't think so. You hear a deep rumbling noise and the ground begins to shudder. Slowly and noisily the portcullis rises into the ceiling. You may now walk to the junction. Will you turn west or east? Let's explore the west as much as we can. Shortly along the passage you arrive at another junction. You may either go straight ahead westwards or northwards. Westwards sounds fine. The passageway continues westwards and then turns due north. Some way up you reach a junction where a narrow passage runs off to the west. Do you continue northwards or not? Yeah, let's go. Several meters up the passageway you arrive at a junction where you may turn either west or east. Set in the rock in the north wall is a small recess where you may safely rest. After taking a moment to recover your strength, you look at the two paths before you. You may set off either eastwards or westwards. Okay. Where are we at the map? Well, let's go eastwards this time. You follow the passage eastwards for several meters, then it turns to the north. Shortly you reach another junction where you either go straight or right into the passage. Let's go into the passage. What are these? Is this a carpet or something? The passage ends in a door. You press your ear to it and listen but hear nothing. Trying the handle, you find that the door opens to reveal a large square room. The room is completely bare, but the floor is covered in mosaic of tiles. Two shapes stand out on the floor, star-shaped tiles and hand-shaped tiles. A door on the opposite wall is the only way through. Huh. Will you walk across the room, walk across the stars, or hand? What is more evil? What is the evil symbol? At least between those two. Hands or stars? I mean, stars can be, I guess, shurikens, projectiles. Then again, hands can be interpreted as being slapped, injured. Let's go with hands. The moment your foot touches a hand tile, you feel a vice-like grip on your ankle and look to see a ghostly white hand gripping your leg. You fight for your balance and manage to regain it. But to your horror, you see that from every hand-shaped tile in the floor, a similar apparition has appeared. And the floor across the door is now scattered with ghoulish hands, flexing and snatching in the air. You draw your sword and chop at the hand. You must fight. So these are remnants, ghouls. What are they? Let's fight them. Whatever they are. Oh, that was pathetic. That was pathetic. Let us hack them. Let us fight our way through. Yes, we are triumphant. We have the... Oh, so we were fighting all of them? Okay. That's convenient. The hand withers and shrinks back into the floor. At the same time, the other hands stop dead and slowly fade downwards to the tiles. You decide it's time to step on the star-shaped tiles, moving carefully across the door in the north wall. The door opens, and luck points to your existing ones. Okay. Passageway ahead runs northwards, and you follow this until you reach another junction. Here you may either continue northwards or turn to... Well, what shall we do? Honestly, I don't know. Northwards we have explored a lot of stuff. And westwards as well. Maybe. Let me think. Well, let's go northwards. The passageway ends in a solid doorway, and you're surprised to see a leather skirt tacked along to the bottom of the floor. You listen but hear nothing. Do we enter the room or return to the junction? Let's enter the room. Ah, you enter a small room with bare rocky walls. On the far wall hangs a golden key. There appears to be no way through the room. Do you want to go to the key or leave it and return to the junction? Let's go for the key. What can go wrong? As you step into the room, the door swings shut behind you. As it closes, there is a slick click and a hiss. From the center of the ceiling, a jet of gas begins filling the room with an acrid vapor. You breathe and cough violently. You look at the door and then the key. Will you return to the door and escape quickly, or hold your breath and dash for the key first? No, I think the key is very valuable, so let's go with that. You snatch the key from its hook. It has the number 125 inscribed on it, but your lungs are bursting. If we roll less or equal, so... No. Ah, we have passed. Excellent, we're not dead. You arrive at the door, struggle with the lock, and open the door. You burst out, closing the door behind you, and take several deep breaths. You return to the junction. And this time turn right. Some way along the passage, the corridor bends around to the north, and you follow it until you reach another junction. At this junction, you see an arrow cut into the rock, pointing to the north, and you decide to try this direction. The passage runs northwards, and ahead you can hear the splashing of an underground river. The air becomes cool and fresh. You soon reach a wide opening of a riverbank, but despair as you look across to see no way through the other side. To the east, the river flows through a cave in the rock. You may sit, rest, and eat provisions if you wish, or continue to be the only way forward, swimming in downstream. Wasn't there a hint for wasn't there a hint for something? Okay. The current is strong and takes you swiftly downstream. You are washed along through a narrow opening and out in the large cavern. The current washes you to the south bank. Okay. You are on the south bank of an underground river facing across its black depths. There appear to be 4 ways of crossing. To your left, rusted bell bears the sign. Ferry service 2, gold pieces, please ring. Ah, there it is. There is a small raft in front of you on the bank with a long stick resting beside it. You could pull across the river. A rickety old bridge crosses on the right. If you don't trust any of these, you may swim. Let's ring the bell. I mean, man's gotta work, right? The bell gives a dull clang, and after a few moments you see a withered old man climb into a small rowing boat moored on the north of the bank. He rows slowly across to you, moors the boat, and limps towards you. He asks you for 3 gold pieces. When you protest at the price, he mumbles some flimsy excuse about inflation. He begins to get angry at your protestations. Do you pay him 3 gold pieces or have your 3 gold pieces. Fine, whatever. He comes down, takes the gold, and rows you across to the north bank. After mooring the boat, he ambles off down a passageway. You have arrived on the north bank of a fast-flowing river in a large underground cavern. Facing northwards, the rock face is smooth and glistening with moisture. Moss of many different hues grows on the surface. There is an eerie silence punctuated only by the splashing of the river as it flows behind you. You have 3 options. The passage runs off to the northwest. If you take this route, turn to 271. A large timber door is directly in front of you in the middle of the rock face. If you open the door, turn to 104, or another passage runs out along the river eastwards. To follow this along the riverbank, turn to page 99. First, let us see where we are with respect to the map. I think we are getting closer to our Warlock buddy, are we? Well. What looks more safe or more productive? Let's follow the passage. The short passage begins to narrow and ends a few meters ahead of the doorway. If you wish to go through the doorway, turn to here, or if you decide this direction against this direction and go back, turn there. Okay, let's go. Now that's a man and a dog where the keys are. You're in a small foul-smelling room. You notice 2 doors, one to the west and one behind you to the south. The furniture in the room is sparse and has been made mostly from bits of old boats. There appears to be nothing of value in the room, but a bunch of keys hangs on the wall. An old man is in ragged clothes and slumped asleep on a bench made from half a rowing boat, snoring loudly. Next to him is a vicious-looking brown dog with red eyes and black teeth. You have awakened it and is eyeing you suspiciously. A deep growl is coming from its throat. Hi, doggy. Tiptoe past and exit through the south door, or bang on the door and cuff a few ahems, or leap across the room, sword drawn to cut down the dog. I don't want to cut down the dog. Maybe we can reason with the man and pay for the keys or something. I don't want to hurt the doggy, even if it's vicious looking. The old man's eyes flutter open. He sees you and gropes for a half oar lying by his bench. You tell him you mean him no harm, but he remains on guard and eyes you cautiously. Although he looks harmless enough, his dog could be dangerous. The man's boots are undone. Will you rush the dog with your weapon drawn? As the man questions, tell him his boots are undone. Let's go with a funny route. The old man thanks you and rather sheepishly ties up his boots. You explain that you mean no harm and he calms down, calling off his dog. He tells you that this area is the only passageway to the inner chambers. Excellent. Some years ago, the river swelled after a particularly severe spring thaw and cut off supplies from the outside world. All the area's inhabitants starved to death, but the master, realizing he needed defenses against the outside world, put a curse on the area. The last remaining creatures became the undead and now guard the passageways through. He starts to inquire about you. Will you be straight with him and tell him of your quest, thank him for the chat and leave for the south door, or try to grab the keys and go for the nearest door? Let's be straight with him. When the old man learns of your quest for treasure, he becomes angry and bids you be gone. He'll have nothing to do with the treasure hunters. His dog senses his anger, snarls at you menacingly. But I need the keys. We can either smile or stay and pacify him. Yeah, let's stay and pacify him. He will not be pacified. As you shift uneasily around the room, he shouts a word at the dog. The dog's eyes glow with an unnatural light. It advances quickly towards you. Its hideous black teeth are coming straight for your throat. As it leaps for you, a blast of fire shoots from its mouth right at your face. What? You duck just in time, but must now fight the beast. Be warned, the dog's fiery breath deals 3 damage whenever its attack is successful. Now that's a dog, all right. Let's fight. That's pathetic. At least we hit him. I wonder what the escape prerequisites are. But we're not going to do that. We're going to use our skill, our prowess in combat, and strike down this beast. Strike down, I said. Yeah, that's yeah, good. Yes. The door opens and you find yourself in a passage leading to the riverbank. You turn to the river and may now either head for the door in the middle or go down the passage. Let's go to the door in the middle. You find yourself in a short, narrow passageway with a door ahead to the north. You try this door. The door squeaks open on rusty hinges. The door is dark and your eyes begin to adjust as you close the door behind you. You hear a shuffling in the room, but before you can react, a blow to your head knocks you senseless. Lose 2 stamina points. That's not great. Also, a side note, I wish there were more illustrations. Just here on the right side would be nice. Even an illustration of a club. You awake with a throbbing head and look around. The room is about 8 meters square, with doors to the north and south. You have been dumped in the southwest corner. Standing motionless in the center of the room are 4 men. At least they appear to be men. Their skin is greeny-gray color. Their clothes are tattered and torn, and they're all staring vacantly at the ceiling. One carries a club, one a scythe, one an axe, and one a pick. They are ignoring you completely. Around the room are various peasant-style weapons, pitchforks, axe handles, pointed sticks, etc. 1 or 2 shields and several barrels. In the northeast corner is a human corpse with a sword in one hand and a shield in the other. You move your hand up to your hand to feel the signs of blood, and you are relieved to find you are not bleeding. But as your hand moves, the strange creatures in the center of the room turn your eyes towards you. Do you try to talk to them, jump to your feet and charge them, or scramble for an exit? I think not. I think I'm angry, and I jump at my feet and charge them with my sword. But first, let us bookmark our journey, and let us fight. The 4 creatures shuffling towards you are mindless zombies. Their vacant eyes suggest that their actions are controlled by will, which is not their own. Of course, which is why I did not attempt to talk to them. It's logical. You are still too dizzy to think properly, but you must act quickly. The first zombie reaches you and prepares to swing its club. Let us fight. Yes. Let's fight. Haha. Okay. Great. Let us fight again. Good. You have defeated zombie. Now you must face zombie. How great it is. Is there any confusion when their master orders them around? Hey zombie. Yes master. Yes master. No, not you zombie. The other zombie. Which zombie? You have defeated zombie with sight. Now you must face zombie with an axe. Okay, let's fight this other zombie. Okay, better. Again. Yes. Okay. You have defeated zombie with axe. Now you must face zombie with pick. Yes, the Brotherhood. Oh, why did I do that? The Brotherhood of Zombies. Unfortunately, they rolled a low one. So, yes. Oh. Okay. Yeah. We are triumphant. If you defeat all 4 of the mindless creatures, turn to 115, which we did. The poor wretches lying dead at your feet almost look happy to be relieved of the burden of life, or on life. But as you look down at them, you sense that you're not the only one who knows of their deaths. You feel lucky to have survived against so many foes. You gain 2 luck points. Yeah, but that doesn't, like, stack, right? So... looking around the room, there are a few things you could investigate. Look more closely at the weapons, at the dead body, or the barrels. Let's see the dead body first. You check over the body of the person in the corner. The poor wretch was obviously caught in the same way that you were, but his skull shattered under the club's blow. He wears a suit of leather armor, no better than your own, holds a wooden shield on the wrist, and clutches a steel-bladed sword in his other hand. In his pockets are 8 gold pieces, and around the neck is a silver crucifix. Okay, let's take a silver crucifix. What do you mean? I want to buy this. This is not a shop. What's the, what? What's going on? I don't. What? So okay, I want to take a silver crucifix. What was that? And let's take a steel sword. I don't understand why it took our money, but sure, maybe it's a... Maybe it's a balancing mechanic. I don't like it. A noise startles you, prompting you to leave the room quickly. You walk up to investigate the north door. The door opens and you find yourself in a dark crypt of some kind. The room is very large. At one end is an altar, and various coffins are strewn around the room. There is a door behind you in the south wall, and also one in the west wall. If you want to investigate the room further, turn to 254. If the place gives you the creeps, you can leave via the west door. I mean, we are an adventurous sort, but we're not suicidal, so let's turn to there. You are in a narrow east-west corridor. Looking westwards, you can see a crossroads ahead. You go on to the crossroads. Standing at the crossroads, you may go either north, west, or south. Let us see where we are from the crypt. Okay, werewolf? What werewolf? Zombies. Oh, so the dog that attacked us, and the keys, and the guy, and the... see, that was not a dog or a wolf, it was a werewolf. Aha, well, let's go north. You are following a passageway which leads ahead to the north. After several meters, it bends sharply to the east. You continue eastwards until you eventually come across a narrow opening in the north wall. You may go through this opening and turn to 89 or continue eastwards. Well, I don't want to turn around, so let us continue into this opening. You climb through the opening and find yourself at the top of a narrow staircase leading downwards. Cautiously, you descend the stairs. Yes, we do. The narrow staircase is cut into the rock, and there are about 20 steps leading down. At the bottom of the steps is a passageway which leads into a large open chamber. This chamber stinks of putrefying flesh. Ugh. That's disgusting. This chamber stinks, and the smell is so bad that you're tempted to turn back. 3 bodies lie in the chamber. You may either search the bodies or tiptoe quietly through the room. What will you do? What will we do indeed? Search the first body, search the second body, search the third body, or tiptoe through the room. We just turned away from the creepy crypt. But let's search the bodies. I mean, everything could go wrong, so I'm not going to ask what could go wrong. But you find 5 gold pieces in the pockets of the corpse and gain 1 luck. You may now either search the second body, the third body, or tiptoe through the room. I mean, let's finish the job, I guess. As you move over towards the second body, you accidentally kick the third corpse on the floor. Its eyes flick open and it quietly sits up and slashes you with its long, sharp fingernails. Test your luck. If you're lucky, the creature misses. I assume this means we have to roll high. You're lucky. You needed a luck score of 12 or below. Ah, yes, it was lower again. Excellent. We're lucky. The creature now standing before you is a semi-decayed man. His quick eyes dart from side to side watching you. His long tongue flashes out with a hissing noise. His teeth and nails are sharp and he doesn't seem to be afraid of your weapon. He's a ghoul! He also has the ability to paralyze and kill you if he scores 4 separate wounds on you during this battle, so be aware. Okay, so let's not allow him to do that, shall we? Yes. Okay, no, it's terrible. Okay. Another strike. Good. Good. And let's finish him off. No. Yes. We are triumphant. And let's go other way. The ghoul twitches and dies at your feet. You search its body and find a little of interest. A couple of earrings worth 1 gold piece between them. In some of its pockets. You take these. You add 2 luck points for adding the ghoul, for killing the ghoul. Again, it doesn't add up to our collective luck skill, so if you wish, you made provisions. No, let us not. Let's search the second body. You search the pockets of the other body and find 8 gold pieces and a bottle of liquid and an old piece of parchment. You may take these items. Let's read the parchment. The parchment is well worn and almost illegible. It is a map of some sort, headed The Maze of Zagor. You can make little sense of it, although a room to the north is marked Ger, and another to the east is marked SMML. So sample, something sample. Ger sample. Simple. Not really, no. It's not sample, because there are no... Oh, anyway, you fold up the map and put it in your pocket. If you have not tested the liquid and wish to do so, turn there. Otherwise, you can make your way southwards. No, let's not test the liquid. Chemistry is not our strongest suit. Let us not do that. You leave the chamber, walk down the short passage, and reach a staircase going up. You climb the stairs and arrive at the top in a passageway. At the top of the stairs, the passage turns sharply to the east. As you pause to get your bearings, you hear a creaking in the rock behind you. You spin round in time to see a heavy portcullis drop to seal off the passageway behind you. Your only way now is forward. Do we press on forward or check the walls for secret passages? Let's check the walls for secret passages. You find no secret passages. Well, it was worth a try, was it? I mean, we tried. I tried. What else can you do? I certainly tried. However, your exploration attracts some sort of creature, and as you listen, you can hear something coming down the corridor towards you. You turn to find out what sort of wandering monster you have come across. Okay, you're tapping and scraping at the rock face as you search for secret doors and passageways resound through the dungeon corridors. Various creatures roam freely through the underworld, and your noises have just attracted the attentions of one of the following monsters. So, there is no turning back from this. I don't think we can avoid attracting any sort of creature where you're going to attack a creature. What I'm curious about is, are these graded on a scale? So if a creature where we roll a 1 will result in a weaker creature in comparison to a creature rolled 4 or higher. So 4. And 4 is... You hear angry squeaks and squeals, and something large and furry scurries down the corridor towards you. As it nears the glow of your lantern, you realize it's a giant rat. Aha, you must fight. Well, let's fight the giant rat. Doesn't seem to be all that powerful. Doesn't have any poison or anything that significant, and it's dead. So we have defeated the giant rat, and we may press on. You are in an east-west corridor. If you go east, you will turn the corner northwards. Yes, let's go this way. You are at the south end of a north-south corridor. Looking northwards, you can see a passage coming off from the east wall. Do you want to go to this passage, check for secret passages, or go south? Where are we? Okay. That's... No. Let's place a bookmark. Okay. Yeah, let's go this passage. You are standing at a junction where a passage to the east comes off a north-south corridor. To go south, turn to 391. To check for secret passages, to 362. To go north, 354. Or to go northwards, 234. Or turn east. Let's try. Oh, as you try the walls of this passageway, a secret door opens up along the west wall. Bingo. You are standing in a north-south passage. To the north, you can see a passage off to the east. To the south, the passage westwards. In the west, a secret door. Let's go through the secret door. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You are standing in a narrow corridor. Behind you is a secret door to the east. Ahead of you is crossroads. To go through the door, turn here, or to the crossroads, turn here. No, let's try the doors. You are standing in a north-south passage. To the north, you can see a passage off to the east. To the south, the passage turns westwards. In the west wall in front of you is a secret door. To investigate the north passage that heads east, turn to 52 to the... okay, what's going on? Is it like a loop? I don't understand. Secret door. Oh, let's go to the crossroads, I guess. You now stand at the crossroads. North, south, west, east. Let's go north. You follow a long, narrow passageway which goes north, then west, then north again, and you eventually find yourself at the crossroads. You are standing at the crossroads. To the west, yes. Are these the same crossroads? I guess they are. Let's go west. You are standing in the corner of a bend in the passage. To the north, the passage ends in a dead end. To investigate this, turn to 171. Okay, yeah. You are standing at the north end of a short north-south passage. You are at the dead end. Let's investigate the wall. You find no secret passages, but as you press the walls, you hear a click. You feel dizzy and slump to the ground. Great. When you come to, the surroundings look strange. You now stand at the crossroads. At least we didn't lose any stamina. I don't think so, no. I guess let's go south. You set off south along a cobbled passageway. It swings west, then south, then west again until you find yourself in a three-way junction. Go west again. The passageway goes west and then south. Finally, you come to a stop at the dead end. Let's investigate the dead end. Nothing. Aha. You find yourself in the north-south corridor. To the north, the passage turns east. Let's investigate. You are standing in a short east-west passageway with a door blocking the way to the east. To the west, the passage turns southwards after several meters. Let's go through the door. I mean, what can happen? You enter a large squared room. In the center of the room is a gray-haired old man sitting at a desk. His desk is covered in papers and parchments of various sorts, and he holds a long quill pen. He is surrounded by books. Thousands of them line the shelves around the walls, from floor to the ceiling. As you enter, he looks up at you. Will he recognize you? What do you mean? If you have not been in this room, turn here. If not, turn there. Well, he has not recognized us. The old man glares at you as you enter the room. You may either apologize, explain that you lost your way, and leave through either. Let's be pleasant, because we can go through the door in the west wall, south wall, be demanding and rude, or be pleasant. Let's be pleasant. He is enraged by your pleasantries. He waves his hand in the air, mumbles a few strange syllables, and then points at you. You feel your hand spinning and pass out. You wake in a dead-end passage. Okay, let's go southwards. You are standing in the corner of a bend in the passage. To the north, passage ends at dead end. Sure, let's go there. Let's go east this time. You are standing at a bend in the passage. Let's go south. And let's go east. Try the door. Aha, finally. The door opens and you find yourself in a small, smoke-filled room. Sitting in the room around a wooden table are four tiny men, each about 1 meter tall. Now that's really tiny. But all are apparently fully mature with weathered skin and long bushy beards. They're cursing, laughing and joking as they play a card game. Relatable. Each one is leaning back on his tiny chair, puffing a long clay pipe. On the table are a number of copper coins and 4 mugs of ale. As you walk in, their merriment stops. Another great word. Merriment. They are on their guard, but don't appear to be dangerous. One stands up and makes some comment about your lack of manners, not knocking before you come in. Fair enough. Fair enough. The others nod in their agreement. I mean, yeah. Chat them and try to befriend them. Apologize, bow and leave the room. Offer to join. Draw your sword. Let's be nice. You chat about various things and they seem eager to be friendly. They feel lonely in the dungeon with so much evil about and are happy to speak to visitors of a lawful disposition. They tell you that you're in the maze of Zagar. The only way out is to go deeper into the dungeon. They tell you that the way through the maze is to leave the room, turn right, left, keep going straight, and then they begin to get a bit vague. They're not entirely sure it's correct. Eventually you thank them and leave the room. Turn to 291. Well, one thing's for sure. Since this is a interactive fiction, a choose your own adventure thing, you should keep notes. So let's write down. So this is turn right, then we turn right again, then left, then straight, and then something we'll figure something out. So west. Let's see the map. Let's see the map, shall we? You are standing in the middle of an east-west corridor. To the east is a dead end, to the west is a familiar junction and another passageway. Well, let's go west. And well, what do we do? We're here, I think. So let's go east. You head towards that end, but I cannot see anything. You check again, secret passages. Oh, you're again. Another thing happened. Okay, I guess we're fighting again. We are fighting again. A short devilish creature with large flapping ears and pointing teeth charges towards you. This monster is a gremlin. Oh well. I mean, at least we'll be entertained. Fight! That's better. Yes, we have won. Investigated dead end. Nothing but center of the corridor. So let's go west. Go north. West. East. South. North. West. West. You are standing in corner. No. East. So we go west. Nothing. Maybe we can. Where does the dwarves didn't even give us right direction? So let's go west and go west, or not. Okay, let's go east and south and go east and go west and go north and go south and go south. This is where we you are at the south end wall north corridor. Yes, I guess we can, but we are stuck in a loop, which is great. Marvelous, let me tell you. Just Okay, go south. South. West. West. It's blocked. Well, let's go that way. Nothing. Yeah, let's just continue doing. Okay. North. West. West. South. South. North. You set off and find yourself in the middle of north passageway. There is a door. Opposite the door is a passage going eastwards. To the north of you can see a door. Which will you choose? Let's choose the door. The door opens into an east-west passage which turns north after several meters. To follow this direction, turn here. You find yourself in a north-south corridor. Well, let's investigate. Let's go through the door. Yes, again, the maze master. You're disturbing my concentration. Yeah, whatever. Let's leave by the west door. Let's go through the door. Ah, yeah, this was already that. Okay, let's leave by the south door. Let's go to the door. Ah, no, that's the same thing. South door. Let's go south. South. North. No. This is confusing. I've never been good at directions. I've never ever been good at directions. But let's try. Let's try. Yes, we have been here. Large wooden door. Yes. I mean, it would help if the map was a bit more helpful. I guess not. I guess not. Is it the same door? Yes, it is the same door. We leave by the south door or the... Okay, let's leave by the west door. Why does it loop? I mean... This is confusing. This is the same door that blocks. Southwards. Let's go north. Okay. What have we not tried? Sure, let's try west again. West. Then east. Then west. Then west. Then north. Okay, let's try again. West. Interesting. East. East. Let's examine. You feel around the rock face at the end of the passage. One rock comes free and reveals a small knob. Will you push it or pull it? Let's pull it. As you pull the knob, a deafening clanging noise rings through the passageway. You frantically push the knob back to stop the alarm, but it has already taken effect. I'm such an idiot. You can hear footsteps coming closer down the corridor. Okay, same thing over and over again. It's whatever. It's going to be a rat again, isn't it? Yes. Oh, it's a goblin this time. Well, it's random, I suppose. Suppose it's random. It's not a dragon, it's a goblin. Whatever. Whatever. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What haven't we tried? So it's the same thing. And same thing again. I realize this is not very exciting to watch, but I am stumped and it's getting late. And I'm going to bid you all farewell. And next time I will come back with a solution to this maze. But let us check what do we have. So no, nothing of the sort. But thank you guys for watching. See you next time when we will continue Warlock playthrough. Bye bye.